Okay, so don't really how to start. Don't know how to start this off, but yes, number 32. I ended up missing last, the last one of last month, just because school has been doing a lot of badness. I don't know how to put it. Just doing work and then you kind of let it pile up, or it just ends up piling up, and then tests. Then you have a lot of stress because you're not always doing so well on those tests. It's relatively unfortunate, but hey, what can you do? Um, so I'm still trying to do this all, and main reason why I'm still doing this is because it gives me something to do. The main reason why I'm streaming in the first place is literally it. How do I put this? It holds me accountable because now if I say I'm going to stream it, it's a combination of if I don't stream it, then I'm probably never going to do it. And again, the only reason why I even do this is to keep myself going, to keep myself doing. Because if you don't do stuff, if you don't do a thing, well, what's the point? Finishing. That's the big thing. Finishing projects is one of the most important things I've realized that you need to be able to do. Like, there's a difference between needing to hone a skill, skill building. Okay. I don't know how to put it, but when you try to hone a skill, one of the most important things isn't actually being good at what you're doing just yet. It's being able to see it through to from start to finish, and that is hard, legitimately. A lot of things out there to do are hard. It is super easy to be inspired to go do a thing, to start doing a thing, but the follow through can be the hardest part. Why? Because starting a new project feels amazing. It feels really good. The problem is, though, seeing it through till the end, it's, how do I put it? There's a level of tedium. There's a level of undesirable tasks that you have to do to see it through till completion. And yes, starting a task and ending it, like that alone is a buildable skill. Something that I don't think, well, a lot of people end up doing going into it, but it's not about waiting for motivation to strike. It's really about putting yourself through a workflow, an actual workflow. Like, creativity isn't something that can just, flow. There are going to be days where you have unproductive and slow days. And there are going to be other days where you're just cranking out everything. You're doing everything on time, in time, and whatever. However, just because of those days of high amount of productivity, high amount of just stuff getting done, that doesn't really mean that's your highest level of work. Um, what was it? Oh, actually, I think it was on Hank. Yeah, I think it was Hank Green. He actually made a video, Vlog Brothers, not too long ago, saying that I guess what was it called? Let me see. I do apologize. You're going to have to listen to that. Well, I don't think it's a problem. Where is it? Excuse me. He said it's the secret to my productivity. I don't know if it was supposed to be the embarrassing secret or something. Blah blah blah. I don't remember. But he says that the main thing is one, work till 80% and then just say it's complete. And I think that's one big thing is something that I've seen a lot of people say is one, done is better than perfect. That trying to continually say that you'll do something when you have more time or when you have more better stuff or something, that slows you down. that a good legitimate task is to start a thing, do a thing, and finish a thing, regardless of the thing, the quality of it. Because creative work of any kind has the ability to be improved indefinitely. Well, yes, you shouldn't really wait for the muse to come to you. You have to make it so that you can actually do stuff. Like, and productivity also is not about like filling every hour with work. No, if anything, part of productivity is also not working. If anything, a lot of skill building is also doing stuff offline, if that makes sense. Like, not all videos require this, but a lot of videos do require some level of like research or stuff that doesn't really get the project moving forward in a linear fashion, if that makes sense. Like, because not all projects are like a straightforward arrow that just moves, of course. Um, like streaming. Uh, I don't know how to put it, but like a lot of things have this sort of back end to it. I'm trying to think on how to like frame this. So it has this like back end, like streaming. Reason why I've had like some trouble with the recent stuff is I'd say school, but I really think I'm actually just procrastinating. But I haven't done Hollow Knight in a while. I started up some things, but then I stopped them again. There's a lot of stuff I do have to do. Similar to this podcast, I do not have like I don't take time outside of the stream time to actually set up the stream time. I legitimately just pushed play like the moment I thought, I should just start this 15 minutes before 8 o'clock. That's it. I was going to do it at 8 o'clock, but said, why not start it 15 minutes prior? Yeah, no, it's not good. Like, the being ready is one important part, I think. And I don't know. I just think that if you're going to do anything, not like you have to take it, like, okay, how do I put this? I think the notion of people thinking that something shouldn't be taken seriously is kind of like weirdly incorrect. That like seriousness doesn't mean like hard balls to the or hard nails to the wall or something like that. That you can take something legitimately seriously and not be all hardcore. If that makes sense. Like just some things need X amount of time for you to do them. Like setting up a legitimate schedule, even if it's a loose one, even if it's like a maybe between these times, like the most I've actually said, like I've changed mine, just to say, and that is to Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, most times for like 2 hours, right? Anywhere between 2 to 4 days. There's a fourth day in there somewhere, but I haven't been doing that the 4 days, or even like more than like 2 or 3. And I had it from like do anywhere from between 3 to 6. I usually would do like 5 because just yeah, that. I don't know. I'm just thinking a combination of things. Like yes, going out and legitimately planning, which I see some people do, but I don't know if everyone does that. And that's fine if that's not what they do. I mean, me, I don't know. I'm just even if I do something like semi-casually, I still try to put more effort into it. Although, as you can tell, I don't put as much effort into this for some reason. The whole reason why I do the streaming thing is, again, it gives me something to do. It gives me something to work at. Like, building an audience isn't something I'm actually working at. Obtaining anything. The whole reason why I say no goals, well, first off, anything that Twitch gives you is not a goal-oriented anything, because goals are something you have control over. I have no control over whether people come to me or not. I can change what games I play, but that doesn't guarantee anything. dude, I don't want to like go too far because like there's a whole back end thing, but there is one thing I've noticed by reading, no, not reading, listening to audiobooks. And one of them is there's some like how do we put this? There's some like job markets that when you go into them, you can have like a multitude of different skills that can help you get in one place or the other and help you move forward. I think that I don't remember what the author of the book. It was called "So Good They Can't Ignore You," and that's the whole point: is to be so good at something that good skills are something that one is hard. It means it takes a lot of time, and there's a lot of like deliberateness to the practicing of said skills, right? And then there's some that again you can go from one point to another point to another point and say, hey, someone will hire you because you're good at something or in good at areas and not be good at other areas, but it doesn't matter because you are good at some things, you know? There's another one called an all or nothing. That's most of what entertainment industries are. That's most of what streaming is, actually. And what that means is there is only one valuable thing that if you don't have it, you don't succeed. And the reason why I bring up like streaming is because the one thing that he brought up with like weblogs, right, when they were more relevant, I think that the book is kind of oldish in that time frame. Like, how do I put this? People try to find like a whole lot of techniques in order to try to drive traffic. And I am going to put it like this. There are a lot of different techniques and a lot of skill sets that go with streaming, and streams can be put into any format, similar to a weblog where what you write about and what you do with it and how you do stuff, you can format it any way, and there's a lot of different skills that go with that. However, it does not matter how good or how bad you are at any of those skills. There is no other way that if you do not have something that people want to watch, then nothing else matters. It doesn't mean you don't build up other skills. It doesn't mean you don't try out a lot of things, because the best way to work at trying to get something that people will want to watch is to try different things. But ultimately, hitting the hammer or hitting the nail on the head or hitting the wall, that's what I meant to say, over and over and over again, does not matter if you don't have something that people want to watch. It does not matter if you don't have something that people want to read. It goes with anything. Scripts. Again, YouTube. It doesn't, because again, there isn't like a huge like again, there's a vast number of skills, but there's only ultimately one thing that people value. Do they watch it? And yes, this does lead to some people just going with the most bare minimum stuff, and that's okay. You don't have to stoop to that if you do not desire to. And it doesn't mean you have to stoop to that to actually succeed. No, not at all. But that is the truth. Also, people say you're not marketing yourself correctly. Wrong. There's another thing he brought up. Biggest thing. That it doesn't matter what you market. If you have something that is unremarkable, no amount of marketing will help. Marketing is important, but if you have something that is the same as everybody else, no one will have a reason to watch your stuff, to read your stuff, do anything. Yeah, that's kind of the difficulty. Because there's a reason why I don't try to do this like as a profession or even as a money-making endeavor or even to generate any amount of viewership. Because it is basically a superstar economy. Not everybody can really be self-sufficient streamers. And not everybody can do it. Like, Twitch has a lot of things to help with that. Still does not mean you're going to be able to make enough cash to actually support yourself, even moderately. And that's okay. Because just because you're doing Twitch does not mean because you're doing streaming, not Twitch necessarily, but just because you're streaming does not mean you actually have to make money from it. It's not a bad thing, but at the same time, it doesn't mean you have to. It is okay to just sit there. I do legitimately have fun doing this, for whatever reason. I have no idea why I have fun doing this. I just do. I just realized I forgot to set my timer. Whoops-a-daisy. I think I actually have reached the 15-minute threshold. That's awesome. Let's keep this going. And this is not like a cynical outlook on stuff. This is just like the most realistic outlook. Because what I've noticed, especially from the audiobook, is that a lot of people who become like successful in like creative fields and whatnot were not trying to be a superstar at that. They were doing a thing, so this would be awesome. And at the very least, if it doesn't work out, I have something cool to either talk about or something that benefits me in some other way, but on the low end. They might be doing something that might be up high, but their ultimate goal isn't to make it as that. And it's fine if you want to make it as that. I'm just saying, a lot of the people, the reason why you don't hear as much about like the people who said that they were trying to do this from a high point is because a lot of them were not trying to push it as hard. And again, it's not bad if you want to try to do this. Just know, like, what was it? My friend, she's trying to become a voice actress, and she knows that odds are she won't be able to just make that as a solid living her whole life. Like, she won't have consistent, solid work that'll pay all of her bills. She might be able to get more work that pays a fair amount of stuff. And hell, she might actually get, like, enough work to pay the bills, but she doesn't expect it, you know? Especially not immediately. Like, things take time. A lot of things take time. Everything takes time. I don't know, just when I think about, like, streaming, one, I do believe that there is a time where you have to separate you from other stuff. You, like, personal time from hobby time, because hobby time can be about, like, how do I put it? Hobbies can be relaxing, but there also can be time where you're just not active at all, and that can also be a relaxation time too. And then there's work time, again, like separation, like work from fun or work from leisure. Maybe I should say fun, because fun is subjective as hell. Versus hobby from just a lot of stuff. That's me. I don't say everyone else has to think that way, because that would be boring if everyone thought like me, because I am a bore. No, I'm not that boring, but I'm not that interesting to some people, of course. That's what makes things amazing, is because not everyone thinks like me. Would really prefer if people didn't think like me. Whew. I think I'm derailing myself. But yes, like when I go back to my stream schedule, I legitimately put in like 1 or even 2 days where I say I either can't stream, decide to say to deprioritize streaming, or just say I will not stream that day. Why? Because again, I do believe in that separation. I don't like I don't have any purpose for the IRL thing. Not because it's bad, but because, as I said, if nobody watches me, then what am I updating on? It's like, it's pointless for me. There is no reason for me to have it because nobody watches. And again, I don't have anything that's like, I'm not a personality, let's just say that. I'm not trying to be a personality, and I don't think you actually have to be a personality to be a streamer. You just have to do a thing. Because odds are people might come because of the game. Like, ultimately, yeah, people might come because of your personality, but I'm not trying to be like, my whole thing is a personality. No, I would rather create a thing. That's me. I'd rather be a part of creating a thing. Again, I don't know. That's just how I think. I don't know. As I said, deliberateness to a like practice. Like, again, when I do this, I try to be deliberate. I don't always buy a game and say, hey, why don't I stream it? I didn't buy like Breath of the Wild to stream it. If anything, I also told myself, don't stream it for the first 3 months because everybody's going to be streaming it. At least play the damn game first. Like, I usually like play games blind on like stream because that's the time I think that's the best to play it. What else? I don't know. I just like, I think having an actual concise plan just is better, even if no one watches. But that's for mine. That's the one thing I have to like say specifically is that's just for mine, because my stream is my stream and not everyone else's, and I don't really have any desire to say anything about anyone else's because there's no point. Shoot. Yeah. Having a lot of like gaps in audio and I don't like it, but I can't think of I have trouble like thinking of stuff on the fly. I don't know. I don't know. I don't do a lot of things just because, well, how do I put this? I know there's a lot of a give and take or a push and pull that you kind of have to do some things because that's how you start doing things, but at the same time I don't believe doing things because people say, well, that's what you do. No, if I legitimately do a thing, I want to sit down and think, but why? But why am I doing this? You know? I don't want to just have something because it's like, well, that's how you stream. No. I don't like that. I don't like that thought process for myself. That's for myself specifically. I like to know why I'm doing a thing. Even if it's like not a very even if it's not like a very like good reason, I don't care. As long as I put thought to it. That's what I really want to do. Like, I don't know, just I don't have anything consistent at all. Okay, give me a moment. I don't know. Just like how do I put it? Like push and pull, give and take. Like you can do things your own way, but at the same time you can't expect that your own way is like the way that will make it. Like I don't know. Cuz like as I said, I don't how do I put it? When I see some streams, I do ask myself, okay, what makes them like remarkable? And odds are there is something because there are people in the chat talking, but sometimes I don't really see it. If anything, a lot of the time I'm like, this one stream is set up like the exact way 5 other streams of a similar type are set up. And that's like not a bad thing. It's just more like, okay, but why do I want to stay here again? And that is a valuable thing to think about. I'm not judging the person at all. I'm just saying, if I want to spend my time doing something, why should I spend my time doing something here versus somewhere else? Odds are someone might think that if they tune into my stream, why do I even want to watch this person doing what he's doing? Yeah. And again, like I do believe that some people set their stuff up like other stuff because they observe it and they're like, okay. At the same time, I also think that a lot of people don't like go beyond the I've observed this and I've done it like this, because honestly, updating stuff is a pain in the ass. Let's just put it bluntly. Actually, doing stuff is a pain in the ass. Like, how do I put this? I'm going on to a tangent or weird segue, so I can get off this topic. But kind of remain on it, is that if you think about something like, say, self-help books, right? Like, I've seen some, and I know that there's some that are like popular, but the funny thing about a lot of them, even the ones that get like pretty popular, is that they're kind of doling out like information, but not in the useful way, not in the way that's actually something you can take action for. Like, I actually did listen to like Getting Things Done, and that did legitimately help me, because even though David Allen, who's pretty up there in the world of stuff, like, let's just say that one of his examples for setting up the system is how should I build my orchard. I'm never gonna have an orchard, but it's an actual example. Like, but one of the other books that I was listening a podcast talking about, which I didn't want to look at because I realized that odds are that book is not as useful, is was it 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, where it probably has some like ideas with inside of it. Also, that's the book that started the BS term synergy. Like, even the book itself kind of like doesn't really explain what synergy is, and it is a word that has infected everything, and it is not, I don't think it's a good word at all. I really don't. But anyways, the book, I guess, said that is boiled down to the concept of how do you do a thing, or how do you have a happy life? Build good principles and stick to them. The reason why this is bad is that all books do this. They tell you the way to do something. No, they don't tell you the way. They tell you the thing you need to do. But the problem is that thing you need to do is hard, and they don't acknowledge the actual hardness of it, and they don't get, like, you can't just try harder, okay? Trying harder doesn't do anything, because it's like, how do you do this? It's like, how do you push a car? Push the car harder. If you couldn't push the car the first time, pushing it harder might not help. Employing more people to push the car, maybe, not employing, but, getting more people to push the car, or finding a different way to push the car, or calling it total. Like, there are other methods that can be done to get the job done. It's just that trying harder doesn't always work. Studying longer doesn't always work. If anything, there's a time where studying longer hurts studying. Sometimes, like, studying itself, I have learned that it's probably better to start out not weeks ahead, but like, days or whatever ahead, study the stuff, and then don't even think about it, or then do it again the next day, and basically like build it into your memory, not like actually try to hone it all into there all at once. Doesn't work all the time. And I don't think there's a way to study harder. Same thing with streaming. I don't think there's a way to work harder at streaming. The only way to do it is stream regularly, not necessarily stream more hours. Yeah. Anyways, that's the reason why I like Getting Things Done, because it actually gave me an idea. What was one of the big ideas? Take time, carve out time to go do things. Okay? That itself is difficult, because you have to like mitigate actual things that can distract you to not carve out that time. That's the difficulty. Also, the idea that your brain is not a good thing for storing information at all. That's a good notion. That's the reason why I write a lot of stuff down. Most everything. Getting into the habit of doing certain things, right? Like, if I write something down and put it in my box, I need to like get it out of there within like 24 hours, 48 hours, something like that, Start sooner. Not necessarily, you don't have to start immediately, but you have to make sure you work it into yourself to start sooner than later. But yeah, that's the whole thing. Like, okay. One example I remember is that something I have heard someone say is like was it $1 million advice that they'll never teach you in business school is carry around a notebook. I can explain to you the problem with that is using the notebook, okay? The reality is not just carrying it around, it's also being in the process of using it, writing it down, and being in and out of it often. And I don't know how to do that. Like, that's the reason why I don't write anything like this. Well, I'm not saying, one, I don't know anything, right? I don't know anything. I'm still trying to figure it out, so I can't write about it. And if I do, I'm BSing. But that's also the whole main thing is a lot of advice out there is legitimately don't do the bad thing, be the good person. And it's like, if it was that easy, because that's the hard part. There is that legitimate hard part to saying, have good foundations, have good principles. What makes a good principle? What makes a good foundation? That's the problem, finding those things out. Having a good work ethic and sticking to it. The sticking to it is the problem. I think I did talk about this earlier. It was the whole finishing thing. That's the reason why you probably want to work on finishing a project first, rather than just trying to be quality doesn't matter if you're not good at finishing, right? You have to be careful not to put yourself on a time schedule where you're gonna run yourself ragged, of course. But if you're not able to finish things, if you have a lot of half-started things and you don't say either, well, I need to finish this, just get it out the door, because sometimes, yes, you do have to take something and just put it together and just throw it out the door and just be like, I'm done with it. Because the doneness is what keeps you going. I don't believe, yes, there are times where sometimes things need to stay in the oven a little bit longer. True, that is 100% true. But if you don't have the work ethic down, right? Some people talk about games and how they maybe 6 months more would have been helpful. That's true. Odds are those people were already good enough at making games where they could reliably get on that time schedule. Me, I'm not. I'm literally three different months I haven't released a video. Whoops. My problem is the getting started part. And then they keep on going. And that's where the difficulty is. How do you be productive? You can't wait for motivation to strike. You have to, motivation can keep you going and you have to find a way to get yourself started. But the whole thing is something, has I have a huge startup cost, It's kind of like when you pull a lawnmower. You have to yank really hard and a lot sometimes just to get it to work. That's me. I have a lot of startup energy to keep myself going. It's also the reason why I usually do just a very flat read of anything voice-wise at all. Where I'm just go. Because I need to just be in the flow. I need to get in the flow of what I'm doing. Kind of what I'm trying to do right now. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why self-help books are just awful, is because they just don't. They tell you concepts, but the problem is the concept they're telling you is how it is the difficulty. Okay, that's the problem. Not everyone has to set up an intricate system, but you do have to figure a way how to get yourself working. Motivation is not how do I put this? People talk about passion a lot. Let's be honest. People who are passionate enough will start something, but then they'll keep on going at it because there's something else driving them. That book, Be So Good They Can't Ignore You. That's actually Steve Martin is the one who used that quote. Now that's quoted from Steve Martin, who was a comedian. And yeah, comedian. No, it's that similar superstar kind of thing. Wow, job market. I can't speak. But that's, and he's still saying don't be, it's not about being passionate, it's about being, if you're passionate, you'll work to being better. One of the examples he brought up was literally, not Steve Martin, but the author. I have to keep on saying that because I'm being vague. Is that, what's the difference between one person versus another person, if they both start guitar at the same time, but over a 5-year time span, why does one person get so much better to the point where a band actually wants to hire him, and another person just says he's good at it, good enough at it? The difference is people who are passionate about something will do it and will do as much as they can. They'll be okay, but then they'll push themselves. This is also something he brings up called deliberate practice, which is something I'm not as good at, but I would like to be. The idea of deliberate practice is literally you do something, as I said, deliberately, but also you start doing it how do I put it? Okay, when you do something, I'm all over the place right now, but when you do something, just the doing it will hit a bar. You will get good enough at doing something just by doing it, right? The more you play a game, you'll just get good enough by doing it because you'll master rudimentary skills. The problem is how to get better. You have to set aside specific amounts of time to practice, not just practice like by playing it. You have to like start playing the guitar, just start going at it, and then go at a faster speed, or go at like a tempo you're not comfortable with. You do that until you are comfortable with it, and then you go faster. Basically, it's a consistent pushing yourself, being in the uncomfortable zone, and then going until you can do it. And it's a consistently like, and that's how people become better. If anything, like what was it? Talked about chess players. How do grandmasters get to be grandmasters? Because if you play enough chess and you I think it was initially they were talking about the idea that you play a lot of tournaments. It is not about that. People who are grandmasters, legitimately speaking, a lot of it is studying chess, studying like chess games, studying everything about it. They do play in tournaments, but odds are it's a lot more of that outside work. Kind of going back to the whole thing I was talking about back end. How to get good at something. It is not the doing that actually makes you that good. Like, how do I put it? Something I've also noticed about like skill ratings. Those do not determine how good you are at a game. Those only determine how far you up are the ladder. Okay? It is difficult to get up to, say, platinum in a game. Totally. And you will make it there just by playing a lot. Playing a lot has the incidental fact of you will get better. But again, just playing a lot of games will never get you to the top, will never get you to be skilled. You might be able to get to the top spot, maybe, but you'll never actually be like that skilled at it. And you think, well, why is that? Again, skill ratings are strictly speaking your position on a ladder. The whole reason why you drop is because your whole point is to rise back up. That's it. The whole point of the ladder is to climb it. But again, you might be fully capable. Like, I think mains are incidental. Like, I don't think you should be focusing on getting a main. I think that's the wrong mindset. I think the thing is, you should start playing stuff, and what do you even start gravitating towards? In any game. Like, and maybe I'm BSing because I'm not a competitive player, so if a competitive player knows better than me, then just boom, boom, punch me in the gut. I don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I think that the idea is you play enough of whatever, and then you start gravitating towards something because that works for you, and that playstyle just starts working, and then you start narrowing out because it fits. And you get better at it because you just become but okay, what was it? Like, the reason why a lot of pro players are really good at their thing is because they found or find, maybe they even decided to choose from the beginning what they want to do, but then they just practiced out of it, but then they also, again, probably did homework outside of it. It is not play twice as many games to get twice as better. It's probably play not necessarily half as many games, but instead of doubling that time, take that other time and not even play the game, but literally look up other stuff or observe. Just, it's difficult. But that's like, I'm just saying a lot of stuff is hard. How to get better at something, it takes time. And that's like, how to put it, that's an obvious statement, but I think there are some obvious statements that are just like, you need to continually say these. Like saying, it doesn't matter if you get rejected, just keep on going. Yeah, I heard it like 1,000 times, and you probably should hear it another 1,000 times, because that is so important when you're trying to do something and you are just being turned away. That the more, like, it needs to be cemented in your brain. If anything, saying that that's everything, that's all that anyone else ever tells me. Again, if you hear it 1 billion times, you probably need to hear it 1 billion more. Even though you already know it, you need to be reinformed over and over and over and over again, because it's one of the most important things. There are things I do think that are like that. There are some things you don't probably have to say as much. I do think that there are those things that are so obvious that you've been told since you started that you still need to be told even if you've been working at something for 5 years. One of those is don't give up. Because you don't really give up until you don't, even if you give up, that doesn't mean you necessarily have to give up forever. Okay? It is never too late to start anything. That's another thing I believe too. Yeah, you might not be able to do it as hard as you could if you did it like 5 years sooner, but you know what? Instead of fretting about why you didn't do it 5 years sooner, just do it. Okay? It's hard to say, just like the best advice to doing a thing is literally just do it, but it's the hard part is the doing it. And that's why I'm doing this. I do not believe that advice is the same thing as just getting over something. No. Because it's not ignoring it. Because the reality is, you just shouldn't start waiting. You should just start starting something and finishing it until the end. I'm pretty sure I just derailed my entire topic. I have no idea what I'm even saying. But yeah. I don't know. I'm just yammering on over and over and over again. So yeah, deliberate practice. To do something well, you have to be deliberate at it. How do you motivate yourself? Oh yeah, passion. That's the whole thing. The whole thing he was talking about with passion is that people say that you have to have courage to go do something. That's not true. Just because you start doing something does not mean it's going to come to you. Right? Like, again, friend moved out to basically a place so she could actually, voice act near there. Because you kind of have to do that or else you just, crap. Not crap, but you're out of luck. Because they want you to be at their studio in that place, and it's not really easy to go down there if you live like 2 states away. 5 states away on the other side of the country. And that's true. She didn't move there until she knew that she could actually move in with people. And then you still had a job. Got a transfer. So yeah, the whole thing is you shouldn't just quit. And also, there's also the fact that if you start doing something, you really should work at being better at it before you just put all your money into it. And that's the truth. Sometimes you do have to spend money to do something and you might not get a return on it. Yeah. Also, this is also about paid work. Like being paid to do work. Like if you have just a hobby, it doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want, right? This is just a hobby for me. I can do whatever I want. I don't have to aggregate a higher view count. That is not valuable to me. I don't even know if I even care for the affiliate thing because I don't think there's anything. Okay, aside from maybe transcodes, but other than that, I don't know. I don't think that that's that valuable to me. I don't think that's a valuable thing that actually exists. It's like, how do I put it? I don't think it's a bad thing to want to stream for a living, but at the end of the day, I also do think that, one, not everybody can. Okay, no matter how much you try to like push it, not everybody can. Two, I really do hate the thing that Twitch says about passion for streaming. That concept that doesn't make sense to me. Again, like not everybody has an inbuilt passion. Some people might. Me, if I love video games, it doesn't make sense for me to stream them. It makes sense for me to make them. That makes sense to me. Even though playing games and making games are two completely different things, it makes more sense for me to make them. If anything, it makes less sense why I would like. I'm not saying that it makes. This is just how my brain works, okay? That's all. Some people be like, wait, I can play a game and people will watch me and I can make money off of it. Yeah, that's fine. I don't care how people do stuff. There are things I find perplexing, but people like them, so I don't crap on that, right? Like me, I don't understand the notion of a person's whole entire career is just vlogging. That doesn't make sense to me. My whole thing about vlogging is that it's because the person does another thing and we get a short glimpse into there. That's my idea. I don't care about main vloggers because generally speaking, they don't interest me. I know that they interest people. People watch them. People want to watch them. Okay, you know, it's all about like not saying I don't understand it, so it must be awful. It's not awful. It's not terrible. It's not boring. Again, I don't like it. I don't care for it. Just my thoughts, you know? And my thoughts are my thoughts, and if they're poo poo, then I'm poo poo. Or at least they are. And I can change my thoughts too. If I have reason to. But let's see, what else? I don't know. Just words. Um but yeah, it's fine if people can do whatever they want for whatever reason, and I have like no reason to be against that. That's just their thing. But again, how my mind works doesn't fall in line with how other people's work, and that's okay. Trying to think of whoever I heard this from, but like the way he put it was you can like have whatever or think whatever you want or do whatever you want as long as it doesn't like, like step over or step on top of other people. And I think that's like pretty true. Right? Like I cannot value that something that somebody does, but I have like no reason to say anything about it because ultimately my opinion on it does not matter. And so I don't express that opinion because it's not a very valuable opinion to anybody. And I don't even think about that stuff at all. Well, much. I do think about it, but it goes away because it's not like something I hold on to. Like, I don't hold on to the notion of, well, I find this boring. Why do people... I don't care. That doesn't matter. You know? I can think, well, why? As in, like, an actual inquisitive thought, but not be so fixated on the why that I actually, like... I don't get upset by that crap. It's not worth getting upset over. Something that, again, I don't know why people like it. Okay? That's literally all there is to it. I just don't have to be mad at it. I think, well, I'm trying to think of something like social eating on Twitch. I think, I know the reason why it exists, but, I know the reason why it exists in, like, other countries, and there is a legitimate reason. I think the reason why it hasn't really took off here is because it doesn't fill the same ideal that it does in other countries. That's fine. You know? Do what you do. Because I don't hold other stuff that I do to my standard. Or other stuff that other people do. Because that's boring. No one should have to meet my standard. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just thinking words. Thinking words. Pretty invaluable words. I don't know. Um, dude, yeah, I'm just like I'm out of steam. Well, I don't think I'm out of steam. I just don't know what to say. Um, I don't know. I'm just gonna keep on doing this because it gives me something to do. And heck, that's like what do I say? Like I actually have an optional class tomorrow, and I'm probably going to actually go to it. Not because I need to go to it, but because I think sometimes it's valuable to go to a class even though they don't take attendance. Like any class that doesn't take attendance, I still go to every time, not only because I need to learn, but because I'll be honest, I don't like sleeping. I don't like sitting around all day. Like I don't like depriving myself of sleep, but if you were to just immediately say people no longer need to sleep, or I specifically don't need to sleep, even if the caveat is like I'm like 25% less effective, well, it's like I would take that immediately. Because sleeping, like, is there just because we need to do it. I don't enjoy it because, like, the only reason why I enjoy it is because I need to do it. If I didn't need to do it, I'd be fine. But I'm not going to sacrifice sleep because, again, that would make me feel awful. I think I got off topic again. I do that a lot. Oh no. Oh no. What else? What was it? Oh no. What was I thinking about with this? Because I was talking about doing this. Oh wow. I completely forgot. I completely blanked. Oh no. Yeah. Oh my goodness. I need to like either I need to end it now or I just need to like think of another quick thing. I haven't been talking about video games because I haven't really been playing too many. I started that Momo something or other. I don't remember what it's called. Temi Chang, the one of the people who helped out with Undertale, did the art. Looks beautiful. Actually scared me. Not scared me, but it makes me uneasy. So I didn't really play it as much. Playing the Oregon Trail. I don't know how much longer I'm going to play that. I think I talked about the game. I talked about the game Convoy. Watching Ruby. I'm not going to talk about Ruby because I don't want to. I don't know if I have my spoiler tag thing, and I don't really want to do that just yet. So yeah, I don't know what the purpose of this. Like I said, the main purpose of this entire thing is literally just to keep me going, keep me doing stuff, keeping me busy. And I think part of that was like school. Like I don't. Oh yeah, that's right. I don't like to sleep. I don't like to be sleep. Like I sleep. I used to sleep a lot, more than I need to, more than I should. I don't want to do that because I want to actually have a type of productiveness. I want to be able to start a thing, finish a thing, and do a thing. You know, if I don't have a good work ethic, I'm going to not be able to do anything with myself. And that is the biggest thing I want to do. I want to be able to do something with myself. Also, big thing I also noticed, it doesn't matter what it is, just do it. Like, people say, well, I don't want to make these kind of videos. Like, just do it. If it keeps you productive. And odds are if you already have like an audience, it's fine. But like me, it's like I don't care to do the vlog things. But if I'm going to do it, I might as well. Maybe I should strive to do other stuff. But again, I'm just going to do it, you know? Like I shouldn't really, it's not focusing on how much editing you do or the type of format. Sometimes you just got to keep on working on stuff. Literally yesterday, I colored something. Someone, artist I follow, posted a thing, said free to color. Here's the actual full and here's the full size transparent. And I literally just colored it. I didn't shade it or anything, but I did flats and I did do at least like an hour's worth of work to get it like within the lines and stuff, right? Sometimes just do it, and whatever the state it is when you're finished or whenever you say it, that's done. Just consider it done. It's a good exercise, I think. Because a lot of people do like romanticize stuff about passion, and the thing I keep on forgetting to talk about passion is that you want to be good at something, even if you're like, passion helps you start, passion helps you get through the hard stuff, and passion helps you finish. But in between, passion is still just an emotion. You have to like get yourself going. You have to get yourself started and working. It's when you start feeling the exhaustion in the middle of the tedium, you're like, gotta push through it. And it's when you're like at the end and you just feel like stopping, passion pushes you through it. But it does not fuel you the entire way. Sometimes you will have to deal with the tedium and you have to push through it. People who are truly passionate about something follow something called a Craftsman Mindset, where they actually do a thing. They just keep on working at it and keep on going and getting better at it. And I don't like the advice, follow your passion, because the people who are already passionate about a thing are going to do the thing without being told. And it's also believed that there's an inbuilt passion into everybody. There is not, okay? Not everybody has a burning desire to be a thing. If someone looks at their class or their, like at college and says, what do I want to do with my life? Most times they don't have like a hidden passion they have not found. Odds are you already know you have a passion if you know. And if you don't, well, find something. Find something to do. Find something you might end up doing. It's the reason why we have a lot of different works and jobs, because everyone has to do one type of job or another. They do, like all those kind of jobs that people think are crap, like in retail and stuff. Somebody has to do them, or else we don't have retail anymore, or we don't have other things, you know. It's just a reality. Yeah, just saying the words "follow your passion." It makes people who are doing a menial job and say, "Well, you're not following your passion, so you're not happy." Some people who legitimately do and say, "Well, this should be the thing that makes me happy." A lot of times they don't. Yeah, happiness is not an easy thing, and I wouldn't even say I have a passion for video games. I just like them and I want to make them. That kind of sounds contradictory, but I think it's true. I don't think I have a passion for making games. I just want to make them. I am going to make them eventually. I am starting courses next semester to do graphics and game development. Woohoo. I don't even know what this podcast is even about. It's literally just a time builder, time doer, time waster, time chewer. Timey, wimey thing. And I sound boring, because I am rambling. I think it is time to stop, most definitely. Give me a second. Although I've probably taken a lot of seconds this entire time. But I mean it. Give me a second. Dang. Not a lot of good stuff here, eh? So as for the next stream, I'm not sure just yet. It might be Wednesday. It might be Friday. But I'll do it. I'll try to start figuring out more stuff to do, to play. I should get back into the old stuff, but semester's wrapping up, so I need to hold myself to that for my own sake. So yeah. So I guess what I'm gonna play here, it's basically the new. I'm just playing the sound, but it's the new opening to Ruby Volume 5. I don't know if anyone's actually watching. This will not go on YouTube, so that's okay. But yeah, if people don't want to listen to the song, I'd say tune out now. But I just want to play it because I enjoy it. Anyways, wait a second, let me just make sure this is all up. Anyways, with all that said, I want to say thank you for watching, and have a good night.